Hey. And we are live. Hello, everyone. We are the lifestyle series, right? Today is Wednesday. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nicole Nunez, the working professionals finance specialist. We'll talk about me a little bit later towards the end, but you're joining us on the lifestyle series. If you are watching the replay, when it's replay time, make sure you type replay love in the comments. All right. Thank you so much for catching us on the replay. Share. Right now, if you all can remember, like I said, if you're new here, if you're not new here, I want to make sure that you are getting the most out of the lifestyle series. The lifestyle series is an educational series to give you information and to give you resources to use to apply to your specific situations. I know that I always say I'm super excited when we have guests, but I really am excited to have Miss Jelly here with us today. You all know y'all internet nephew, Baby Kai, is about to be 2 in September, and he just started going back to school. So, quick story about Miss Jelly and myself. You all know that I was in the cohort, corner to corner, spring class, and I graduated. And that is actually how I was introduced to Miss Jelly. She has an online learning center. Hello. Hey, Shanda, thank you for joining us. She has an online learning center called Miss Jelly's Early Learning Preschool. I was looking into the preschool for Kai because he was home, and just the things that she offers were really intriguing to me, especially an online platform for the littles. Now, of course, with COVID coming, we've seen different offerings for older children, but remember, you all know my go-to people is for the little people, mainly under 2. So I'm not going to take up too much of Miss Jelly's time. I would like her to introduce herself to us, tell us what made her go this route. I'm not going to make her go over all of her teaching experience because she is she is an education veteran. She's been teaching for at least 20 years with experience in over 3 countries. So, I love diversity. I talk about being a world learner, and that is definitely her. But I do want her to tell us what made her go this route as far as the online learning for the littles, what she loves about it. And as we get into the conversation, she is going to give us some tips and resources for those of us who work from home and still are a stay-at-home parent, right? So, Miss Jelly, you have the floor. Tell us about the early learning school,
Thank
preschool.
you so much. Hello there, lifestyle families. How are you? How's everybody doing today? I'm so excited to be here. My name is Jelly Malenga, and I am the owner and lead teacher at Miss Jelly's Early Learning Preschool, which is our online early learning enrichment program. And so, what is that? What does that mean? Basically, what it means is it's kind of like an on-demand, your Netflix of preschool. Um, to where you are able to be empowered as your child's first teacher with me as a partner, a village, if you will. I also have so basically what's available is there's a teacher. I teach the core lessons and I also teach the cooking classes. And then there's a Spanish teacher, that's Mrs. Anna, and our music teacher, which is Mrs. Brenda. And all of those are on demand, meaning when you're available, when it's a good time for you, so you can kind of take a break from the screen, from the YouTube, unless you're on my YouTube, and jam out with us. Now, I have over 25 years of early learning experience, and I have been blessed to be able to work with children ages 6 weeks through 19 of age in Jamaica, as well as in Zambia, as well as in different parts of the U.S. And it is an honor. It is a privilege. I love children are children everywhere you go.
Yes.
And I don't care what country you're in, parents are parents. Parenting is not easy. There's no pamphlet that comes. And even if you do get a pamphlet, guess what? Your kid and your life might not fit it.
Right.
And so basically, the reason I do this is from having so many different parents come to me and ask for help, come to me over the years and say, well, this is not working. How do I get this? This one's not doing this. And so I wanted to create something that would empower parents on their time to work with their child, to learn with their child. It also helps with the bonding. It helps with you your child getting accustomed to you being a part of their learning process. So when they do start going to school, you don't go, "What'd you do today?" And they're like, "Had lunch,
Right.
and fruit stack." No, they're used to talking about what you're learning with you,
Right.
talking, incorporating, asking you questions, and you're used to asking them questions based on my program. So then, and you're used to doing things together. So as they grow, the hope says you'll be empowered as your child's first teacher. You'll be empowered as someone who's involved in their learning, and that door stays open for you to be continue to be involved in your learning with your child.
Awesome. And I think that's super, super important because, like I said, my audience knows that I am the researcher of researchers, right? And I think I expressed that to you as well, that I was looking over your curriculum and looked over your system. And one thing that definitely stood out to me was the simple fact that this is something that you can do with your child. It's not overwhelming. You don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, like I'll say new age math. I don't even think about math when Kai get time. He gonna get a two though, okay? Because I don't even want to think about it. But it's not overwhelming, and it's the main thing is fun. Right now we have, excuse me. Right now with just things, technology evolving, so many things are called. There's terminology, and you have actually been an educator for 25 years, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's so much new terminology, like social emotional learning, SEL. That's something I learned. Now, I felt like when I created the journal that I had social emotional learning in my brain, but of course I didn't know the terminology. But these children do not know how to hold a conversation. Everything is just all right, online, 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 online. But the difference is where you're coming in is your online is connecting the social emotional learning. It's yeah, we're watching class on TV, but we're not just watching TV, right? We are working with these exercise. We're doing these activities. We're diversifying our activities. We're learning a language. We're having our languages. Before Jelly can tell you, I was just setting up the baby boss with his Spanish language of the day, Canticos. Parents, it's a little plug. If y'all want the babies to be bilingual, that's a really good show. But for someone, tell me something for someone like me, right? So I was working from home, and Kai, that's all he knows. I have videos of him thinking, you doing a Zoom? Who's our next client? We all doing a Zoom. It's time for us to do Zoom, right? How what is a tip that you can have for a parent like myself who can easily feel overwhelmed while working, but also have that kind of guilt because it's like, well, I'm not pouring into them as much as I would like to, for, as you say, for them to be prepared when it's time to go to pre-K, when it's time to go to elementary school and kindergarten, so that they're not behind, but I can still work, yet I can still feed them this curriculum, but it's not overwhelming. We have our plan. What would you say to a parent like myself?
So first of all, one thing I always say to all my moms and all my dads and caregivers as well, let's not forget that every family looks different. Um, Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace.
Yes.
And I know right now I'm teaching in an elementary school, and I know when I first started looking at that third grade math, and then I'm looking at these kids, and a lot of them were behind, and I'm
Right.
just like, ooh, hmm.
Right.
One thing that I do a lot, I sing a lot. And I don't care what your voice sounds like. If you sound like Kermit the Frog or you sound like Jennifer Hudson, I want you to sing, 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 sing. Allow yourself that space. Dance with your children.
Yeah.
Allow them that time. Allow yourself some space. Allow yourself that freedom. Our In the school that I'm working at presently, our program, our blocks are 90 minutes long. I cut them up and I started dancing with those third graders. A lot of them are stressed, going through things, worrying about TCAP, worrying about different things. I started reminding them what it was like to be free to twirl, what it was like to be free to sing and dance. Sometimes we get so caught up in worrying about what they're supposed to be learning and where they're supposed to be that we forget to live in the moment and grow with them. And that learning is supposed to be a journey.
Yes.
It is a journey, you
Yes.
know? And so
Absolutely.
let's not stress them out.
Right. Not stress them out while we stressing ourselves out.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I don't believe things happen by mistake, right? I believe as long as you have a relationship with the Lord, as long as you are in tune with what's going on, things happen. And what made me say that is when you just said give yourself grace. That has been my mantra for all of 22, and I brought it over to 23. I definitely brought give yourself grace. Sometimes I don't even have anything to say, and I just jump on Facebook. Give yourself grace today. Like, get that's it. That's the message. That's the caption. Give yourself grace. And that spans over so many different areas. Give yourself grace as a parent. Give yourself grace as a stay at home parent. Give yourself grace as an employee. Let me tell you something. I will never tell anyone to be mediocre at work, but you better not let these jobs kill you. All right. I will say that. I'm not going to say be mediocre. I don't believe in that. I believe you do your best to your ability, the best of the best. And then when it's time to go, you go somewhere else. So I will say that. But giving yourself grace applies to so many different things, right? So give us an example of what one of your programs look like. I know what it looks like because, I had my little cheat sheet, but you tell us.
Okay, so what one of our program looks like I understand that not everybody wants to sit and watch videos of me talking and teaching, or maybe they don't want Spanish, or maybe they don't want music with Miss Brenda.
Mhm.
I have they might just want, you know what, my child likes to play on iPad or likes to play video games, but I want them to learn as well as, to have fun. And
Right.
so I have a program, it's called Playful Pals. And with the Playful Pals, it is a digital program where they're learning, but they're actually playing educational interactive games that I make.
Nice.
And so based on where you say they are, it has sight words, different things they should be learning to be ready for kindergarten and beyond, and they're playing video games, but it's touchscreen in the system and they don't know. The other thing I offer is virtual field trips. I love the virtual field trips because it encourages you as parents and caregivers to sit with them
Yes.
and visit around the globe
Right.
virtually. Go, and it helps with conversation. Let's have conversation. Let's talk about where we are.
Yes.
I have a once a month virtual play group where kids from all over can join on Zoom, and we're doing Circle Time live with Miss Jelly, live Circle Time. And I just announced, I made sure I announced it today in my private family group before I did this show, because I'm like, I can't say it on the show or not say to them first. But starting this fall, Miss Jelly will be live in Nashville. I will be live in person once a month. We're starting an in-person play group. So I'm really excited about that because they've been asking, like, oh, when are we going to get together? So yes,
Right.
starting in this fall, once a month, you'll get to come and join my play group. The other thing we also have is, you're like, Miss Jelly, I don't want my kid online playing video games, playing your games. I want to be the sole teacher. And that's great because I have something called a Little Learners mailer. And so basically what that is you get a mailer from me every month with worksheets that you can do, as well as with art activities with all the supplies in there, a book every month, and you are your child's teacher. Directions on what to do, a song, a poem, nursery rhyme that you can do with your children on your own. And then you still get to join the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. So if you want to join that, you can join that. And then you also get invites in the private group, as well as worksheets put in the group for you all to download and print. And so if you like, I don't want to do the whole full thing, that's fine. If you're like, I want everything plus, that's even better, because there's an option to join our one-on-one tutoring group. It does cost a little more, but it definitely is worth it. It depends on where you are and what needs you have for your family. And so
Right.
those are the programs that I have. And I am so very grateful to be here. And I just love talking about empowering our children, empowering our families.
Awesome. And I'm glad you're here too. And I think it's really important because, like I expressed to you myself, I didn't know this was a thing, right? I didn't know it was an option. I have friends whose older children go online, and come to find out, you may have known this as well. I have friends who I didn't know their kids were going online way before even COVID. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me tell y'all something. I was an honor student. I got accepted to every college of my choice. Had I had to go to school online, y'all would have seen me on a small bus. Okay. I would not have I would not have
Don't
made
hate
it.
on the small buses because those are comfortable.
Listen, you're right. Well, let me just be frank. You would have seen me with that big F. Okay. So I definitely admire these children who are doing what they're supposed to be doing, who are succeeding in class while having to do it not the traditional way. Here come the baby boss. Y'all know he knows he. Who are not able to do it the traditional way. But so let's say my child is just starting out. He's just starting out. I have some time. I'm pretty flexible during the day where I can, get away for half an hour, get away for 15 minutes, or if I just take my lunch and I want to do something and sit with them at lunch. They're not quite yet ready to go to kindergarten, but I want to excel them. Like myself, I knew how to read at 2. I'm not putting all of that on the baby boss, but it would be nice. But I'm not putting all that on him. Y'all can't see it from here, but his little shelf down here, y'all, with his books. So when I'm in the office, he goes down and gets his books on the bottom. What is one of your plans? What is something that you would say for a parent like that? Like they do have the hour or so every day to sit with the child. They definitely want the lessons. They want to be involved. I know which one I would pick, but I want you to tell the audience.
Okay, so of course I'm going to push my programs. Okay, I'm going to push my programs, but I know there's several people who might be like, "Well, Miss Jelly, that's just not in my budget right now."
Right,
and that's okay.
Right,
it's not in your budget right now. That's okay.
Right,
you can come to you can if you're local, you can join my my free fall meetup group. And if you're not local, you can join us online. I'll be posting it soon. But also, I just want to remind you that before we had all these gadgets and different things going on, we can learn through everything. So if you have that, like you say, he has his books, pull out your book.
Right.
Talk about what we see. Talk about the colors. Sing songs. I'm not going to give you my song. You got to join my group. Sing songs. Talk about the colors. Talk about what you see. And then let them read to you. You might be like, well, he's not really reading. No, turn the page. Let him say, what do you see? What do you see, friend? Do you see that?
What's that?
What is that?
Yeah,
what is that?
What's that?
It says, oh, goodness, is that a roller coaster?
What's Miss Jelly talking about?
And you can encourage them to touch it. What color do you see?
What's that's Miss Jelly talking about?
Can you touch it? Encourage them to touch the different things, to let them describe it. And then when they say he's not using full words, reiterate. He might go, look at him. Are you pointing? Yes. Good job.
Say yes.
So when he points and he might point at this red roller coaster. He might say, that's right. Red roller coaster.
Right.
That's right. Blue roller coaster. Affirm, affirm, affirm. Yes. And you don't want them in your kitchen? Why not?
Right.
They make a mess. Yeah, they're going to go in there because there's instruments in there. Those pots, those pans. Sit and do these things with them. Y'all buy chips. Don't act like everybody's super, super healthy. You buy chips. Oh, what is this? Is that an alligator?
Not the alligator bag clip. Now I gotta look for those.
An alligator. And guess what? They have chip clips in all forms.
Nice.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And you're so right,
little monkeys.
I do let him roam around the kitchen. Yes.
Look at him.
Right. He see the monkeys. I do let him roam around the kitchen.
Monkeys jumping on a tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me.
That's
can't
monkeys,
catch
right?
me.
Yeah.
Long came Mr. Alligator, quiet. And he snatched that monkey right out of that tree. Look at him.
Right, he is engaged. Exactly. Well, we got a little taste of Miss Jelly's online learning, right? He is. Netta said he's all into it. He sure is, because he's looking like, where they go? But you're so right with them being in the kitchen and them making noise and just reiterating everything around the house. And let me tell y'all something. Miss Jelly is being very modest And I can tell y'all need to. Yeah, she's saying she's gonna push her programs because it's important. All right. We need to make sure that we're getting all the resources that we can for our children. And when we have these resources that are specifically for us, specifically to our kids, we need to make that sacrifice. And whether it's a sacrifice of not going to Starbucks every day, whether it's a sacrifice of, going out to eat one less a week. One thing y'all know, I definitely push. I do not push drastic lifestyle changes. You're never going to see me saying I paid off $100,000 worth of debt and we had oodles and noodles every day last week. You're never going to see me say that. I don't believe in drastic lifestyle changes, but I do believe in subtle lifestyle changes that can be positive for our children, be positive for our families. And Miss Jelly's Learning Center, Early Learning Preschool, excuse me, I'm just giving it all other names, child. Miss Jelly's Miss Jelly's Early Learning Preschool is one of those things. You want your children to be able to hold conversations. You want your children to be engaged. As she stated, you don't want to wait until they get to preschool or literally until they get to kindergarten. And now you're starting to implement these things. Just like she said, even that baby talk, that's their form of communication. They are engaging with you. They are communicating. Kai sets his table to eat every single day. Go get your table. He pull his little Paw Patrol table out. If it's facing the wrong way, he gonna turn it around, pulling his little chair, and like, hey, where my food at? Right?
That is so great. I mean, that's what's important. Like, celebrate. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I believe in dancing. I believe in singing. I mean, a lot of stuff I do, they're like, we're so old school. But if you just have to put on YouTube, and it's a certain song, because let's be clear, there are certain songs that, hey, I'm no judgment. There's certain songs that make you move a certain way. Right. Turn on the karaoke version. Guess what? Reading, the words are on there. They might learn to identify some words. Literally, in my 3rd grade class, that is how I taught some kids to read. They were requesting, because my thing is, if we work after 20 minutes, I will let you, if you're following directions and doing a good job, I will let you request clean songs.
Nice.
And I will put it on screen. I will put on the karaoke version. Right. That's how some of my students picked up new words. They were like, oh, what's that word? Okay, let's talk about it. You're singing it. This is how it looks. Something you can do at home. Do karaoke night. Right. Play with your kids. You're like, oh, well, they're only 2. Give them a microphone. Right. And sing those words and point to the screen. Playing games. I'm very big on playing games. Playing Uno, playing Sorry, playing different games with them is also going to help stimulate critical thinking, problem solving. It's teaching them to take turns. Yes, you're the only baby, but it's not your world. Yes. You got to learn how to take turns. Yes. It helps them to anticipate consequences. You can't win every time. Y'all could let these kids win every time. Right. Then they go somewhere else and have a whole,
fall out. What you mean you didn't win? Because you didn't win.
Yes.
You didn't go in there, boo-boo. You didn't win.
They didn't win. They teach social interactions. It also helps with family bonding, taking turns. I mean, these are things that are important. If you're watching movie nights, they're 2. Pause it and let's talk about what happened. Right. Oh, no. What happened to the mermaid's family? Oh, no. Did you see? Because we're talking about emotion. She just talked about social, SEL, social emotional learning. Let's talk about the empathy, teaching them empathy. Did you see what happened to Simba's dad? Oh. Is he sad? Why is he crying? Let's talk about it. And then if you don't want to pause the movie, talk about it after. They might be 3 or 4. Talk about it after so they can learn empathy. And like I said, back to the game. I love the games. With the games, they're counting, they're matching, they're solving puzzles, they're absorbing knowledge in an engaging and enjoyable way, doing all of the things that I've mentioned with you.
Yes. Yes.
With you.
Well, I love it. I think that you all, let me, what's the website, Jelly?
Learnwithjelly.com.
Okay, I'm going to put it up there too. www.learnwithjelly.com. All right. Now, I know, like I told you, we're going to get, we do have, I don't know if you can see the comments. Netta love this. He's all into it. Learn with Jelly. What is going on? The thing down, let me see. Oh, that's because he done moved it, y'all. Learnwithjelly.com.
Yes, so it's Miss Jelly's Early Learning Preschool.
Yes. Learn with Jelly. Learn with Jelly. Perfect. Oh my gosh. Thank you, sir. All right, great.
Cooking. I do cooking classes. We do open them up for the community every now and then outside of my preschool. And basically, yeah, my child, yeah, there too. And we can still do cooking classes. There's things they can do. Number one, it helps you to become comfortable with them in the kitchen with you.
Yes.
Kitchen safety for them. Y'all, you can go online. There's no bake recipes.
And that's what I was going to ask you to touch on too, because I love that. I saw the cooking classes, and I'm glad you touched on that because, yes, tell us how to get involved in your cooking classes. Talk to the audience about that. I want you to stop.
So the last, okay. So I'll be posting on the very last summer session cooking classes next Wednesday. So we're excited about that. And then we're going to move on to our evening cooking classes starting this fall. There's going to be different levels for little ones as well as for older ones. And basically what that is, how they get involved, follow my page, Miss Jelly's Early Learning Preschool on Facebook. Follow my page so that you can be in the know and get invited to the different events we have going on. And the classes are typically $10 a class. They're also almost always on Eventbrite. And I send a list of what you need in terms of supplies, grocery list, and then I also send you a visual recipe. And then there's worksheets that hopefully you can print because the whole literacy part is important. I want to make sure after we cook, we do shake it. Like I said, I do like to dance. So we do have like a little DJ shake it time, virtual, digital dance party we do, but then we also go over what we learned today, what we made today. It's important to go back and make sure that they comprehend the process. And there are some things they can cut out and put on their visual recipe so they can remember how they can help you make said meal again or said, and like I said, in everything there's literacy. Encourage them to be a part of your world, not just when you think they should be learning or when you think there's a certain goal you want them to learn. But if you incorporate them in every little thing, communicate, talk to them like they have some sense, use real words when you talk to them, right? You'll be surprised how they'll blossom and grow and just how strong your bond will be and how important is that, especially in this day and age with so many people being stressed and feeling alone. Your children don't have to feel that way and neither do you.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I know I want to leave it at that. But I'm gonna ask you for one last tip.
Oh goodness, I've already given
one last tip. Tell me, or one last thought that you do want to leave us with.
Okay, because I was like, okay, so maybe I can reiterate the tips we've already shared.
There you go.
Of course, so there's the books. You definitely want to show them. There's the front cover. There's the back cover. This is the spine. What does the spine do? Like our body, holds the book together. You can also let them know that every book has a what? A title page.
Nice.
What's the title? The title is the name. The title is the name. Tells the name of the book. The title is the name. It gets them excited about the books. Make sure you're talking with them. Point it out. Reiterate, affirm them while reading. Play with them. Y'all like chips. I like to bag stuff up. They come in different kinds. Check their dollar stores. Check your regular stores. Check online. They're also on my Amazon wish list. Buy one for you and for me. I'm just saying. There's different kinds of clips that you can incorporate. Let them play with pots and pans. Basically, if I could leave you with anything, the biggest tip I can leave you in is to be in the moment. Because these moments won't last always. Be in the moment. Be present. And you have fun because you deserve to have fun, and so do they.
Awesome. I had to mute y'all because y'all nephew don't want me to be great, y'all.
He's trying to be down with Jelly.
Right.
He's like, let's sing some more. What?
Right. Absolutely. So, Miss Jelly, thank you so much for coming on the Lifestyle Series. And remember, guys, replay love, and y'all want to make sure that y'all save this video, right? Because we're not always thinking of things that we can do, and sometimes we got a million things going on, and sometimes we're like, oh wow, Miss Jelly said XYZ. Oh wow, what was that teacher that had that online school? Let me look into that, right? Because this is something that can work in complement with them attending preschool, with them attending daycare. right? So it's not just something that you have to think of, oh my gosh, this is another expense, but this is that higher touch and you're putting more into them, right? We
Definitely.
want to thank Miss Jelly. Remember, learningwithjelly.com.
Learnwithjelly.com.
I'm adding the ing, child. Learnwithjelly.com. Okay. Learnwithjelly.com. Everything, her quotes, where you can find her channels, where you can find her social media. We made sure that everything is in the comments for you. If you are in the Nashville area, you will see me and baby Kai at the fall meetup. So we want to see y'all there too with the other parents, and we want to link up, right? Um, if you have not already bought your ticket for Let's Get Published, I know you have seen it because I have been flooding the airways. I want to create 100 authors by the end of the year, and I believe it's possible. I believe that once you do the work and once you put it out there, it can be done. I just feel that people don't know where to start. And that's where I come in and I am giving you the sauce. I'm giving you the blueprint. I am not promising you to be a #1 New York Times bestseller, but I am promising you a independent, self-published book. All right. So make sure we're going to www.travellightkai.com and we're purchasing our tickets to Let's Get Published Masterclass. Also, why is this the lifestyle series, right? We can't end without talking about finances. I want you all to be taking a look at your 401ks. If you do not have a 401k, I want you to take a look at whatever vehicle you are using for your retirement. If you don't have retirement, you need to book a consultation with me, right? I wanted you to take a look at what are you doing for your child's future, financial future. If you have a 529 plan, do you know all of the requirements for a 529 plan, right? So make sure that you set up your consultation at www.cinlensolutions.com. That is www.cinlensolutions.com for your retirement and for your child's financial future. We want to thank Miss Jelly for joining us today. And then we want you to come back and see us next Wednesday for the lifestyle series. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks, Jelly.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye-bye.